Look, my top rated book on confidence is called The Super You. I'm sending it to you, physical book, free. Go to the link down there. You got it.
DreAllDay.com.
Congratulations on tuning into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and a mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all that, you get a huge dose of personal initiative to go get an energy, to go make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. Putting all this together, you get the mindset, the method, the podcast known as work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Welcome to the show. Pat yourself on the back for being here. Today's topic, we are going into part 2 of Amazon.jobs 14 principles of leadership. So they have these 14 principles publicly published on their website for anyone who wants to come work at Amazon. These are the principles we expect every leader, anyone who wants to come in as a leader, if you want to come in and ascend to a position of leadership in any area of our organization, these are the 14 principles we expect you to exemplify. Now, the reason why I'm giving you these here is not because I'm encouraging you to go get a job at Amazon, but you can if you want to. I think they're going to be around for a while if you're looking for some stability, but because the principles that they're putting out here of leadership apply just as much to whatever world you're in right now, even if it's not the online e-commerce space. Even if you're an athlete, you could be a teacher, you could be a photographer, you can be a professional swimmer. You need these principles of leadership if you're going to be dealing with anyone, even yourself. Because if you're the only person with you, it's just you're an only team, there's nobody working for you, and you're not working for anybody else, you still got to be a leader to yourself. Do you not? And if you don't understand that, keep listening to this podcast. You will very soon. So let's go right into, I did 1 through 7 yesterday. So today we're doing 8 through 14, these 14 principles of leadership. Principle number 8, leaders think big. Now, I read a book called Think Big. It's called Think Big and Kick Ass. It's written by a guy named Donald Trump. It was actually a very good book when it comes to the mindset people need in order to get the most out of themselves and be the best that they can be. Now, I know some people don't want to hear that, being that the author is the author, but I'm just giving you the information. If you decide to take it, go ahead and take it. If you don't want to, that's completely fine. But just reading this headline here made me think of that book. But leaders think big. Back to Amazon. Thinking small is a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's the first thing they say about this thinking big principle. Leaders create and communicate a bold direction that inspires results. They think differently and look around corners for ways to serve customers. So what does it mean to think big? It means, what can we do that based on who we are right now, we need to make some big changes in order to be able to do it? What do we want to execute on that, given our current resources, our current abilities, our current modus operandi, we can't do it? We would not be able to do it. We would need to stretch ourselves to really make this happen. Some of you may have heard of stretch goals, right? And it was actually talked about and explained in really good detail in a book called Smarter, Better, Faster by Charles Duhigg. If you haven't read that book, I suggest you read it. My full reading list is at DreAllDay.com/read. It's a book that I recently read in the summer of 2018. Thinking big means, how much am I going to need to change myself, change our processes, change our team in order for us to reach this thing? That's what thinking big means. Thinking big means setting goals that you could not reach with your current self, your current abilities, your current resources. You got to become something completely different just in order to even approach achieving that outcome. That's what thinking big means. A lot of people don't want to think big in life because they don't want to go through that change. A lot of people are resistant to change. Some people get stuck in their ways. You ever heard somebody explain that they were stuck in their ways? And sometimes people say it kind of proudly, like, yeah, I'm stuck in my ways. So it's basically giving themselves a get out of jail free card from ever setting big goals or thinking big or going any further than they've already gone in life, because they're stuck where they are. And as soon as you get stuck in your ways in life, you're starting to go downhill. All right, that's the descending action of life. If any of you know about storytelling, you got the ascending action, right? When things are going up, you got the climax, the big point in this story, and then you got the descending action, and that all ends at what? At death, at the end of the story. So as soon as you get stuck in your ways, you're going down the mountain. Okay, you're in the descending action of life, but you don't have to choose. You don't have to get stuck in your ways at any point in life. You don't have to have descending action in your life at any point. It has nothing to do with your age. So thinking big is principle number 8. Number 9, leaders have a bias for action. I love this one right here. A bias for action. Amazon says speed matters in business. Many decisions and actions are reversible and do not need extensive study. We value calculated risk taking. This is a wonderful one right here. I want to read this whole thing all over again. Speed matters in business. Many decisions and actions are reversible and do not need extensive study. We value calculated risk taking. That's just beautiful right there. I mean, if I get an office, I'm going to put that up on the wall for everybody to see. Bias for action, ladies and gentlemen. What does that mean? That means instead of calculating and gathering information and quote unquote getting ready or quote unquote practicing or whatever other excuses, you know what they are if you've been out there using them. I know some people listening to this who have been using them as excuses for not taking action. I gotta get information, I gotta practice, I gotta make sure I got my script right, I gotta make sure I know what I'm gonna say, I gotta make sure I know what I'm doing, I gotta make sure I've saved up, I gotta make sure I got all the knowledge, I gotta make sure I know it, everything that I need to know. I hear these things every single time I talk to somebody who has not yet taken the action that they know they want to take. They have some reason to not take action. At Amazon, that's not gonna work. At Amazon, that won't get you a leadership position because leaders have bias for action. Speed matters, people, in business. And all life is a business. Okay, do you pay an electricity bill or a cable bill or a Wi-Fi bill? Do you pay for food? Okay, so even if you don't have a job right now, you're still in business because it's costing you money to live. Okay, living life is a business in itself. And if you happen to own a business or work at a company, you know that you're in business. Everything you do is a business. Our device you're listening to this on is a business. All right, to get this podcast out, it costs some money in some ways. That's a business. These devices that I'm recording this on, this microphone, this stand, this computer, the editing software, my production team, this phone, the camera, all of this money. Everything costs money. Life is a business. So if you think you're not in business and this doesn't apply to you, it absolutely does. Speed matters in life, people. Getting things done quickly matters. And know why it gives you a great advantage to get things done quickly? Because most people do not have a bias for action. They have a bias for inaction. They have a bias for delay. They have a bias for let me think about it. They have a bias for let me practice some more. They have a bias for I don't know enough, so I'm not going to do anything. They have a bias for let me come up with another excuse and not take action. So if you can get this bias for action, you'll have an advantage over a huge percentage of the population. I'd say at least 90% of the people out there, because 90% of the people do not want to take calculated risk. As soon as they hear that word risk, they're already scared. They're already afraid as soon as they hear the word. But I did an episode called How to Mentally Minimize Risk. So I've handled these for you. Go to dreallday.com/podcast. Use the find function in your browser and find that episode and listen to it. You listen to it already, go listen to it again. Bias for action. Always ready to move and do something. Point number 10. And this is from Amazon.jobs/principles. 14 principles of leadership as determined by Amazon. Frugality. They say, accomplish more with less. Constraints breed resourcefulness, self-sufficiency, and invention. There are no extra points for growing headcount, budget size, or fixed expense. In other words, Amazon, they have a whole lot of money. I mean, I think Amazon has a whole lot of cash on hand. But what they're saying is their leaders are able to get things done without just using up all the cash just because you have it, right? And we know that necessity is the mother of invention. We come up with new things when we're trying to fulfill a need, solve a problem, deal with some emergency situation that we have on hand. That's when we get resourceful. And when you are fully committed to what you're doing as a leader, you will get resourceful. It's not about, oh, give me more money or give me more people or give me more knowledge or let me go read some more books. Let me go listen to some more podcasts before I do something. A leader is resourceful with whatever they have. You work with what you've got. I get athletes who reach out to me and say, well, Dre, I got one basketball court to practice on. It's only 9 feet high. So if I practice on that, is it going to mess up my shot when I play on a 10-foot court? I'm like, what the hell does it matter? You only got one court to practice on. Are you going to practice or are you not? And usually they're going to practice while they're talking about it. So if that's all you got, that's all you got. I mean, you're worrying about things that don't even matter because even if I said, yeah, we'll completely destroy your shot and you'll be the worst basketball player in the world, if you don't practice, you're still going to be garbage. So you might as well just use whatever it is you have. Frugality is not about money. And you see, Amazon didn't say that much about money here. What they're saying is use what you have, whatever that happens to be. When it comes to knowledge, people, experience, information, use whatever you have and make something happen with it. If you're a leader, you're able to do that. Now, if you're not a leader, if you're a loser, then you're going to use your lack of resources, whatever you consider to be a lack, quote unquote, as an excuse for you not getting things done. And if you do that, you probably won't be working at Amazon very long. Definitely won't be on the leadership side. Next, it's number 10. It's 10, 11, 12, or is this 11? I'm getting mixed up on the numbers here. 8, 9, 10. We're on 11. Earn trust. That's what leaders do. It's from Amazon.jobs/principles. You want to work at Amazon, these are the things you got to do. Earn trust. Leaders listen attentively. This is from Amazon. Speak candidly and treat others respectfully. They are vocally self-critical, even when doing so is awkward or embarrassing. But that's a good one. Leaders do not believe their or their team's body odor smells of perfume. They benchmark themselves and their teams against the best. So how do you earn trust? You hear everything that I just read there that Amazon described when it comes to earning trust. It means you're paying attention to the people on your team. You are honest with the people on your team. So when they're messing up, you let them know they're messing up, and you treat others respectfully. So just because you're the boss or you're in charge, quote unquote, doesn't mean you talk down to people. Doesn't mean you treat them like they're not as important as you. Doesn't mean you treat them like they're not worth as much as you just because you have a higher position than them. An effective leader already understands these things inherently. Now, some people step into a leadership position and they may think that means that they need to be a jerk or be an ass to other people. It has nothing to do with that. You've been watching too much TV, watching too many movies. Leaders are vocally self-critical, meaning they will let others know I messed up. I made the mistake here. I'm going to own this one. Yes, you did the wrong thing, but you only did the wrong thing because I gave you some bad directions. I'm going to take ownership for that, and we're going to fix it. We're going to get it right. Leaders will point out when they're the ones who made the mistake. And a leader amongst a team, I don't care if it's a team of 10 or a team of 10,000, a leader will more often than not take responsibility for the team's failure, even when the leader wasn't the one who made the quote-unquote mistake, whatever that mistake was. And a leader understands that their team may not be as great as they think it is. A leader understands, you know what, as they said, leaders do not believe their team's body odor smells of perfume or their personal body odor smells of perfume. They know when they're not good. They know when they messed up. They know when they need to get better. They know when they need to work on their game. A leader is okay with admitting that. And leaders measure their teams against the best, not against what we did yesterday, but against the best that's out there or the best that we could possibly do, whatever it happens to be for them. And that's how you earn trust. Understand, this is not saying this is what a leader does. This is how a leader earns trust. That's the point here. Point number 12. And this is from Amazon.jobs. You want to be a leader at Amazon. These are the things you must do. Today is part 2. You missed part 1 yesterday. Go listen to it. Leaders dive deep. Leaders operate at all levels, stay connected to the details, audit frequently, and are skeptical when metrics and anecdote differ. No task is beneath them. That last sentence bears repeating. No task is beneath a leader. Bathroom needs to be clean. Guess who's cleaning the bathroom? If nobody else is available, the leader will clean the bathroom. If you're not willing to clean the bathroom, people are going to look at you funny when you tell somebody else to do it because they know you're not willing to do it. Many of the great war generals of all time were known to fight alongside their troops. Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Napoleon Bonaparte. Why? Because it inspired the soldiers to know that this guy is putting himself at the same level of risk of life and limb that we're putting ourselves at. I'm willing to fight for this individual because they're out there doing the same things that they're asking us to do. And a leader will dive deep. That means they look at all levels of things. They don't just stay looking at the top level. Let me just see the sales from yesterday. They want to know, what is the new programmer doing? What's going on in the mailroom? Who's handling the food? Who was it that cleaned the bathroom because they didn't do it right? Leaders are looking at everything. They're on top of everything. And everybody on the team knows that the leader is on top of everything, which means everybody on the team is going to be much more on point than they would be if they knew their leader wasn't really paying attention to what they were doing. And if any of you have been a leader who's always on point, paying attention to everything, you know that's what happens. When you pay more attention, people pay more attention to what they're doing. And when you're not paying attention, or you had a leader who didn't pay much attention, you knew you could get away with stuff because they weren't really paying attention. It works as simple as that. So the leader is always paying attention on all levels. Point number 13, today's topic, Amazon's principles of leadership. This is principles number 8 through 14. Leaders have backbone, they disagree, and they commit. As Amazon says, leaders are obligated to respectfully challenge decisions when they disagree, even when doing so is uncomfortable or exhausting. Leaders have conviction and are tenacious. They do not compromise for the sake of social cohesion. Once a decision is determined, they commit wholly. Man, this is a lot right here. This is big right here. Everything that was just said. Leaders are obligated. Okay, this is not something that they choose to do. A leader is obligated, ladies and gentlemen, to respectfully challenge decisions when they disagree, even if disagreeing is uncomfortable for you or the person you're disagreeing with, even if it is exhausting, even if you got to keep hammering away at this exact same disagreement over and over again, or you got a list of 1,000 disagreements. You're going to go through that whole list of 1,000 in order to get things right, because as a leader, it is your obligation to do so. You are not a leader if you are not doing this. And look what they say the very next sentence. Leaders have conviction and are tenacious. That means they believe what they say. They believe what they believe until or unless they are proven otherwise. And they are willing to stand on it as long as they need to stand on it. And they will weather the storm of uncomfortable feelings, hurt egos from other people, and people just getting pissed off because you keep pounding on this one disagreement that you want to get right because you know it is your obligation to get it right. And here's the next one is really important as well. Leaders do not compromise for the sake of social cohesion. If you could just take, out of everything that I've said in today's episode, if you could take one thing out of it when it comes to leadership, I would say is this sentence right here. Leaders do not compromise for the sake of social cohesion. In other words, a leader will not let something go that they do not want just to make sure everybody stays happy and friendly and satisfied and their egos stay in check. A leader says to hell with all that. There are certain things we need to get done. And if somebody's ego got to get bruised, somebody got to get moved out of the way. If somebody got to have a problem, if somebody got to storm off out of the room because they're upset that they didn't get what they wanted, so be it. We're going to get this thing done right. As long as it takes, we're going to get this thing done. I read this story about Puff Daddy. He was running his company Bad Boy Records in the 90s once. He heard, or someone who worked for him heard, that usually the music industry goes on vacation between Thanksgiving and New Year's. And a lot of industries do that. And Puff Daddy said to his staff, I don't give a fuck what anybody in the industry is doing. Everybody's working. And he made everybody come in on like Christmas Eve to work. And he made everybody wait. And then he came and sat in the room and he gave them a lecture that said, listen, I know y'all are pissed off at me because I got all of y'all working, but guess what? I'm working harder than all of you. I work harder than everybody in this room. And if y'all want to have what I have, you want to have a position that I got, I dare anyone in this room to work harder than me. And the person who was retelling the story said he realized as Puff was talking, he said, man, this dude is about everything he says he's about. He's not just about the flash and the jewelry and the money and showing off. He's actually doing the work to earn his position that he's in. And everything that he said was absolutely true. Leaders do not compromise for the sake of social cohesion. They do not worry about somebody getting pissed off at them. We're going to do what we got to do. You could be unhappy if you want to. We're still going to get this done while you're unhappy. Point number, actually, let me give some more on that. Have backbone, disagree, and commit. I mean, how many of you are willing to disagree with another person, even when you can tell that that person's getting kind of emotionally bent out of shape? Person's getting a little bit uncomfortable, maybe a whole lot uncomfortable. Maybe somebody comes to you and say, man, maybe you could just let this one go. You got you had 10 points you wanted to get here. You got 9 of them. Why don't you just compromise on number 10? A leader doesn't do that. A leader does not do that. Now, people who value friendship and being friendly and being nice and being liked over getting things done the right way, they will do that. You got to ask yourself, which person are you? Are you the type of person who wants everybody to get along and everybody to be friends? I just talked about this, and I believe it was episode 843. I may have that wrong, but you go check it and listen to it yourself. May have been a later episode than that, where I talked about when you really want to get things done, it's not about everybody getting along. So some feathers may have to be ruffled. Some people's ego may have to get bruised. But listen, we got a job to do. We got a job that we signed up to do. And everybody in here is going to do the job that we signed up to do. If you don't want to do it, get the hell out. But the job's going to get done whether you're here or whether you're not here. You got to be willing to piss people off in order to get things done. That's just the way it works in life, because people have conflicting interests. And when you're the leader, your interest is getting the team where the team needs to go. You need to get everybody on that page, whether you got to make them uncomfortable or not. Point number 14, last one. Today's topic is from Amazon.jobs, the 14 principles of leadership. Leaders deliver results. This is the perfect ending, right? A leader delivers results. What's the purpose of working on your game? All this discipline and confidence and mental toughness, personal. What's the purpose of all this? So you can produce. Purpose of this is produce. If you didn't know, purpose of this is so you can produce. So when you get on the court, or you get in that job, or you get in that interview, or whatever it is you're doing, you produce results. If you're not producing results, you will not be in the room any longer. You're not going to have the job. Nobody's going to want to deal with you. Leaders focus on the key inputs, this is Amazon, for their business and deliver them with the right quality and in a timely fashion. Despite setbacks, they rise to the occasion and never settle. That last sentence is key. Even when things don't go right, even when things aren't what they expected, leaders get things done anyway. Person on top always gets the job done. There's no stories. There's no excuses. There's no delays. They just get it done. If you want to be the person on top, that's what you need to do. Let's recap the final 7 principles of leadership at Amazon. Number 1, think big. Thinking small is a self-fulfilling prophecy, so is thinking big. Number 9, Number 9, bias for action. Getting things done. Speed is key in life as in business. Number 10, frugality. Getting more done with less. Number 11, earn trust. You earn trust by being honest about yourself and your team and being vocal about it. Number 11, dive deep. You are in the details. You know what's going on. You are paying attention to everything. You don't let anything slide. Number 13, have backbone, disagree, and commit. You are willing to disagree, even if people don't like it, even if everybody's uncomfortable, because you're going to get what needs to get done in order for this project to finish the way it needs to be finished, because that's your job as a leader. And number 14, deliver results. Leaders always deliver results in the end, not stories, not excuses, not blame. They get the job done. That's how you become a leader. That's how you stay a leader. And that's why you work on your game. DreAllDay.com.